Happy Sunday, everyone, and welcome to episode 32 of Joe and
Welcome
Matty
back. A
Talk
lot of
Real
good number
Sports.
32s out there. We won't waste too much time on that, but there's a lot of 32s in there.
I,
It's a
I can't think
popular
of one
football.
besides Auntie Ranta.
You go to the
Backup
goalies, number
goalie.
32. You can't think of football running backs.
Uh, am I missing someone?
Jim Brown?
Oh yeah. That's a while ago
I
though.
guess that's
And
that's before you, but I mean, let's see. You had Edgerrin James. He's another good running back. Obviously, most people would say O.J. Simpson, but don't want to include him. Franco Harris, Marcus Allen,
yeah,
Ricky Waters,
I can't think of anyone for
Otis
the
Anderson,
Yankees.
although with the Giants he was 24. Tyrone Matthew.
Yeah,
There's
he's
a
good up there. I can't think of anyone for the Yankees or hockey for any
okay.
sense. Mine.
Famous number 32 baseball. Honestly, nothing's popping to my head either. I'm sure we're going to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Steve Carlton, Sandy Koufax, Eddie Murray, Kirby. Oh, no, sorry. I was
Oh,
going.
Shaq, Magic
Oh, there you
Johnson,
go.
Julius
Shaq wore
Erving.
like 8,000 numbers.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it seems like a bunch of basketball and football is the main for
let's
32.
start with since we last spoke. There's a Rangers made a couple trades at the deadline. I walked away happy. I was still dreaming about Patrick Kane, but I'm glad they didn't give up the future. I was
Yeah.
surprised Gorgiev didn't go, but the pieces they got back seemed to fit. And then when they went out and played that game against Pittsburgh, wow, I'd love to see that all the time. Just come out and attack. So why don't you give me your take back on the trades? We'll start with the one for with Florida.
Yeah, Frank Petrano's been amazing. I've liked him. He's fast, and Florida has so much depth that he's one of those guys that didn't get that much time, and now
Yeah,
he's playing with Zibanejad and Kreider, and I love that line. I think that should be the line going forward. I don't think Lafreniere should be up there. He has a point streak going, but that doesn't mean he needs to
nice.
stay with the
They had
first
a nice
line.
play the other night.
Yeah, so I think he's fine where he is. I like that first line of Vetrano and Zibanejad and Kreider. I think that's a great line. Like they all complement each other's games very well. And
Zibanejad looks like his lethal self again, where he's just teeing up. It's just scary. And Panarin, for all his points, like I think you've mentioned this a couple times, he hasn't got the goals. If that comes together, those guys are going to be. I can't believe Kreider just keeps scoring at the pace he is.
well, they talk about Austin Matthews got goal number 47 last night, and they're talking about him for Hart. Leon Draisaitl had a hat trick and got up to 47 last night. But everyone's saying like him for Hart, all this. But Kreider's not getting any mention. I mean, the goals, the at the
Because
rate
everyone,
he's scoring still.
because those kind of awards start out as a popularity contest, so it's like those guys were established like MVP candidates, so they always get the nod. You really have to do something special. I think Shesterkin also would take a half of Kreider's votes away from him. Like, so if you have the media who watches the East Coast and a lot of the Ranger games, they're obviously going to be,
But
some will. It
it's
will affect
not.
them having a chance to win the award for sure.
But what's rigged about that award is that it's not like people. I feel like they mix up.
Not
It's
voted
not
by
the. It's
players.
not. It no. It's not the highest scoring player. It's the most valuable player to his team
Yes.
award.
Well, we've
It's
seen this
not like
argument in sports for years. Like
okay,
MVP,
Leon
can it?
Draisaitl leads the league in
Yeah.
points, but that doesn't mean that he.
If the team sucks, what difference does it matter?
Yeah,
That's how
like
I feel. Like if
how
you
is
took them out of the lineup, who would be most devastating to lose? For the Rangers, I don't think it's a question. The most devastating would be Shesterkin.
if well, that's what I'm saying. You took out Shesterkin or Kreider. This team's probably not even in the playoffs. Like that's like
They're in bad,
that's
bad shape compared to where they are. And I agree.
it's
Like you take out
yeah.
Dry Style, you lose a lot of stats, but they're still probably not that great of a team.
You still have McDavid. Like how valuable can Draisaitl be if you have McDavid? Like that's what I
Yeah,
mean.
I
Like
think you have to be for a team that's not winning or not like at the top of the league. You have to be like such a dominant force, like LeBron James going to
yeah.
Cleveland, and all of a sudden they're a contender. But I
Well, you
cut
have
you
to
off.
look. You
Keep
have to
going with the
look at
trades so that we get back through these.
yeah. Then we had Justin Braun from Philly for a 2023 third round pick. I think that's a good trade. He was healthy scratched against Pittsburgh, but that's fine. They're just trying to figure out everything.
I
I thought
also
that was
don't
a
think
good
a lot
trade.
of these they're loaded with prospects right now from the last couple years of building that there's no place for third and round. Like, yes, there's always a chance you're going to get someone great in the third and fourth round, but they don't have a lot of room for these people to grow. So this is a good chance to show this team that let's see what you can do in the playoffs. Let's get experience past the first round.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough because then you had Andrew Kopp that they traded for, which
It
was
was
he
hot
was a
for a lot of teams.
yeah, it was what they got. Morgan, they sent Morgan Barron 22.
Bunch of picks that are going to be weighted
Yeah, it's
based
a
on
bunch of picks. I can't even go through the whole entire
not,
thing. And
nothing
then
that really.
yeah,
Again,
then
nothing that worries me as far as the return. I wasn't upset with any of the trades.
And then Tyler Mott for a 2023 fourth round pick, which is an absolute steal. I think out of all the trades, I really like what Kopp, Mott, and Vetrano are going to do. I think Braun, I don't really know if they wanted to do that. I don't really know if they need it. He might not even you look at Patrick Nemeth has really elevated his game in the last 3 weeks, and this is why they got him, and it's
But I
starting
think
to
this gives
show.
them the depth of they have a lot of guys now that could play if they lose one or two in the playoffs, and they could play really physical now and swap guys out and keep people fresh of
Well,
good talent.
they're going to be in a little bit of issues when Kevin Rooney and Capo Caco return because
Those
you
are good
had
issues to have.
so against Pittsburgh, the healthy scratches were Julian Gauthier, Greg McKegg, Ryan Reeves, Justin Braun.
I don't like Reeves not starting. The other two guys I don't think are going to see too much time going forward.
Well, I think what is first going to happen is Johnny Brodzinski is going to be sent down, obviously immediately because he's been decent, but he'll be
Yeah,
gone.
he flashes some speed. I like his game.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
what his. Here's a question that I'm looking up. Brennan
Yes.
Othman, the Rangers' first round pick from 2021, has 40 goals in the Ontario League. He has
Yeah.
41 assists. I can't remember a prospect flashing like this for a while. Do you think he will see any time with the Rangers this year, or it's too far
No,
away?
no.
No.
Maybe next year. I mean, because their projected lineup for today was Kreider, Zibanejad, Vetrano, Panarin, Strome, Kopp, Lafreniere, Hedel, Goodrow, Mott, Brodzinski, Hunt. So that's another. And then Lindgren, Fox, Trouba, and Miller are locked for defensemen.
Yeah.
Nemeth and Schneider. Schneider's not a lock. I think Nemeth is starting to become a lock as it comes to playoff time.
I think
I
that
don't.
bottom pair will rotate by who's playing good lately.
Well, Dryden, Hunt, and definitely Brodzinski will be moved. You're not going to move Mott out of the lineup. You just brought him. He's a great penalty killer. The Rangers are rotating 3 penalty killing units when they're on the ice.
And then what are they? Second in the league in scoring, and I don't know where their
Yeah, they've
statistics.
had a little trouble with penalty killing, but they've gotten a lot of offensive chances with it.
Yeah,
So that's not too big of a worry. I don't really think there is a worry right now. What
it's
I was
my worry is when you have the bad Shesterkin game, and it's ugh, because if he plays bad, we're dead. I guess that
But
goes for any team if
that's
you're a
not
goalie plays.
though. That's not really okay. The New Jersey game though, you look at people who analyze the game say really almost all those goals. There's nothing he could have done with that. That was a
I
defensive
know, but
breakdown
that's
scenario.
you asked me what I worry. That's something happening with Shesterkin where he's not his season starts to fall apart because he's had an insane season. So if he's
But
playing this way, I think the Kreiders, the Zibanejads, Panarins, they prove that whether they're down in a game or not, they just keep coming. So they're going to be a really tough team to beat in a 7-game series.
well, I think it showed the weakness of Pittsburgh is that they missed one game with
Last year,
Malkin, and they were not good. They were not. I do not think. I think. Look, the East is loaded. I do not think. I think the one team that's not good is Pittsburgh. I
yeah,
do not think. I don't think they're good. I think they live off of. You cannot. I mean, Jari is not good. Okay, he had one great game against the Rangers, but you
yeah,
can't go in the playoffs where one game is great, 2 games are bad. One game is great, 2 games are bad because you'll lose like that. In the end, it will. come crashing down. I'm not afraid of Pittsburgh. I've said that for a while. I think they have 3 sharpshooters. If you can take them out, that's it. That's it. They're done. I mean, even Crosby was terrible in that game. The Rangers, they only gave a power play goal. Like they were on them.
Yeah,
Crazy good.
I feel good about the Rangers. It's just hard to believe, I, it's being a fan right now where it's like, when is it all going to come crashing down? Because it's too much fun right now. I honestly can't even I haven't thought about baseball much because I'm all about the Rangers. And, we'll quickly segue to the Knicks, who are 10 games under 500. It's like, I don't care.
Yeah,
Last year
well,
that
it's
they brought so much momentum. This year it's like, there's nothing to be excited about because Julius Randle was like the centerpiece of being excited. I take that back. There are things to be excited about. Like RJ Barrett's been great, and he's turning into a big player. But just play the young kids and let's see. Like, let quickly play. They have all these weird veterans and rookies that are like, the veterans aren't good enough to win you a title, but they're keeping the young guys from getting playing time. So all of a sudden, these guys are going to hit their 3-year mark and they'll be like, oh, they're not very good. Well, they didn't get it much time on the court.
yeah, well, they're not playing like lockdown games, and that's where I think it's the
No.
difference with the Rangers. The Rangers they locked down Tampa, and they played terrible against Carolina, but Alexander Georgiev, when he gets consistent starts, that's the goalie we know, and he hasn't been good this year
I
because he
really
hasn't
thought that was the
started.
game that got him traded too. I thought it would reassure a general manager to give something up for him, and I would have been fine with Kincaid as the backup, or if they would have moved for the Detroit goalie. But I guess nobody offered
It's
anything,
it's
knowing he's going
just
to be free
it's
next year.
the Rangers just they find ways to win. It's just finding ways to win, and the fact that it hasn't. You talk about like things coming like crashing down. The fact that it hasn't happened yet, and we're 65 games into the
Yeah, yeah.
season,
At
and
this
they're
point, you
still
got to believe,
consistent. Like
right?
they're on path. I mean, like this was a what if. This was like okay, like seventh, eighth, like wild card spot, like playoff team this year. The fact that they're in competition to win like 50 games. I mean, they even the teams like in like with Nash and all them when they were supposed to like go on a cup run. I don't
uh,
even know if they had 50 wins. Like so, this is like it's
I
blowing
love
our
Rick
all of
Nash.
our minds. And if you look at the Eastern Conference right now, this is what's like really scary. In first place with 64 games played is Florida at 44, 14, and 6 with 94
There's
points.
going to be a lot of teams over 100 points, which is insane.
Yeah, second place Carolina's played 65 games. They're 43, 15, and 7 with 93 points. Third place Pittsburgh's played 66 games, 39, 17, and 10 with 88 points. Fourth place the Rangers 65 games, 41, 19, and 5, 87 points, so they could probably jump over Pittsburgh today for third. Boston, fifth place, 65 games, 41, 19, and 5, 87
They're
points.
going nowhere,
Tampa, sixth place, 64
which is
games played,
crazy.
40, 18, and 6, 86 points. Toronto, 64 games, 40, 19, and 5, 85 points. And then in eighth place,
I
Washington,
hope
67
Toronto
games.
doesn't choke in the playoffs unless they're playing the
No,
Rangers.
I hate Toronto. Ugh.
Oh, you got to go to the Toronto with me. We'll go to Toronto. It's such a great city with such great people. You'll love Toronto once you go there.
I don't like Toronto
And the
because of
Hockey Hall of
Austin
Fame's there.
Matthews.
Maybe that's a good weekend trip for me and you. We'll go see the Hockey Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
catch a game.
Yeah.
The
Well,
Blue Jays is fun to go watch too.
yeah, they would definitely not playing the Yankees, but definitely a fun game to watch if they're playing like someone and with
No,
all
if we're
that.
seeing the Yankees, we'll root against them. But half the Yankees can't play.
I don't know because they're
Well,
against them. Like,
let's move on before we get into move away from basketball. Let me get your thoughts on the college basketball today. Normally, I'm not a big college basketball fan. My team made the tournament. No one else in our family's team made the tournament, so I will emphasize that. Clemson, nope. Sorry. West Virginia, no. Boston College, no. UD, yes. But they got smoked by Villanova, who's going to the Final Four, who I can't stand. But the more important thing is St. Peter's, where Spencer went there,
yeah,
up New Jersey, has a chance to play North Carolina to go to the Final Four today, which is insane. That's a 5 o'clock game. Do you think they have any hope, or it all crumbles today? I feel like North Carolina is a team that they kind of also no one believed in, so they have that chip on their shoulder. I think St. Peter's has the advantage against going teams who just think they're going to kill them because there's this pressure, like, oh my God, like we should be
Yeah.
destroying this
Well,
guy. Later it goes more pressure. North Carolina won't feel that pressure.
I think they're gonna unfortunately take over this game a little bit because I think it's just destined Duke UNC Final Four. I think that's just
I know with Coach
what's in the
K's thing, but
lineup.
I mean
Yeah,
that's
it's
what everybody wants. And either way, it's good. But I think St. Peter's. Could you imagine St. Peter's keeps Coach K from going to the finals? And it's not going to happen. But great. There are a lot of people writing
uh,
storylines, going, "Oh my God, let this happen." On the other end of the
well,
bracket, two teams I could care less about. I hate the Miami Hurricanes, and Kansas basketball. My boy Vang, he's a fan. They beat Providence, which is Ken's team. So I don't really care about these teams, but I think
was
Kansas
he
will.
at the game? Was he at the game?
Yes, he was on TV. Yes,
Oh,
Ken is one of the most loyal fans you will ever meet. So hashtag Providence. Anyone who does more for Providence, I find it hard to believe. Ken is a speaker for that school. He does a great job. And you heard about Ken's son Trey is one of the top prospects looking for on the East Coast. It was just written up. Yeah,
for real. He
for
was
college
written up.
base, he was written up as the one of the top two recruits in high school baseball who's yet to sign with a school, and they're talking about his release from the infield at 100 miles an hour. It looks good, so good on you, Trey.
Nice.
Hope you get the school you want. You know, maybe
That's
Georgetown
awesome.
should come calling. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Maybe
I'll send you the link.
definitely.
Well, moving
Well,
on.
I'm definitely gonna say UNC is gonna
Oh
win
yeah, I didn't even
today.
ask. I apologize. What jerk? Who are you got? Like UNC.
Kansas gonna win. I hate Villanova. I hate Kansas. I hate UNC. I don't hate Duke. So Duke's my team
Oh,
that's
I
gonna win
hate
it
Duke
all.
too.
No,
So
I
who?
don't hate. I don't. I don't hate them like I hate
I
UNC.
don't like
Because they're
Villanova.
tragic down
I
home.
don't like Kansas, except for the fact that a good friend of mine, Vang, loves Kansas, so I would root for them just to win. But it's St. Peter's or bust for me, and that's a bad spot to be in as a batter. But let's move
Yeah.
on. Before we'll close up with the Yankees because I got a lot of questions for you about the Yankees. Giants, there's not much going on. It's really the Bradbury. When's he going to get traded? I have to say that I am super happy that my general manager refused to cut him, knowing that the trade market would come later and the only cost is $2 million in salary. The Giants are willing to pay that. So let's hope that the rumor is the Chiefs are looking at him. I think the chips will fall when Stephon Gilmore signs with a team who is talking to the Eagles. Once he signs, then whoever still needs the cornerback, Bradbury is the best bet. You get a
Yeah.
fourth-round pick, it's an absolute home run. Right now, a fifth-round pick is pretty good because no one was giving you
Yeah.
anything. They thought you would have to cut him for free. So Joe Shane wins for any pick that he gets. I want
Yeah.
to ask you one question. You know, mock drafts constantly going, all these people. I've seen it change a million times. If you were today, who do you think the Giants land at 5-7, thinking there's no trades? Or you know what? Not who do you think they'll get? Who would you hope to land realistically, knowing who?
It's definitely gonna. It's gonna be O lineman. I can't think of their names right off the top of my head. I still think that Jameson Williams is the best player in the country at any position. He's wide receiver. Obviously, the Giants don't need that, but I
What?
think whatever team gets him is going to be. You see what Jamar Chase is doing, double it by 10 times. I mean,
10 times. Wow.
this guy is ridiculous. I mean, the stuff he did at Alabama is blowing away. What it's like, I think it's blowing away with Devontae Smith.
I don't
Um,
even know where he's projected to go. I will say that for
it seems
me,
in the teens he's going somewhere.
I want the Giants with the 5 pick to take the best offensive lineman available. If one of the North Carolina State, I don't want to mess up his name. If he's available, he's my first choice. If Evan Neal is available, he's my second choice. If they can't get the offensive lineman, that means they both went. Then you're going to go with the best defensive lineman, either the guy from Georgia, Walker, who's crazy. I don't want Thibodeau if he falls to the Giants at 7. if the Giants get an offensive lineman, I kind of want Sauce Gardner, the cornerback,
Yeah.
because the way the Giants are going to blitz a hell of a lot, and then in the later rounds you go get a guard, ideally the guy from Boston College. You get that guard, and then the Giants' offensive line actually looks like a professional offensive line, albeit a new mix and might take time. But
Yeah.
no, Daniel Jones will get a chance to see.
No.
I really want to see if the Giants' first round pick Tony from last year stays healthy, what he could do if he's actually on the field. Last year was
Yeah.
kind of like a lost year. Don't you agree?
Yeah. The Giants are just like I'm so lost with them. Like I can't get hype about it. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Like
because
it's
you've
just
seen them be terrible.
it's just like the draft like great and all,
Caroline's
but
not
like
here. The Bears are stripping that team to the bone. There's nothing like it's not looking good. But what I do like as being a Giants and then a Bears fan, it looks like the GMs actually have a plan. The plan is financially sound. He said Joe Shane said we're going to cut $40 million. The moment he trades Bradbury, he'd have done more than that. The
yeah.
signings he made were not laughable. I think one of the funniest things I saw was when the Giants signed. I don't remember which player it was, but it was like a backup offensive lineman, you know. And they're like, true sign it's not the Dave Gettleman error by the fact that they didn't offer him 3 years, $18 million. Instead, he's coming on a 1 year rookie minimum deal. And
Uh,
like the deals that he's handing out make sense and they're not egregious and they're not going to hurt the Giants. So, yes, all right, it may stink this year. I don't want it to, but anyway, let's move on from the Giants. Let's finish because baseball's back, so we can finally talk about it. We haven't talked about baseball in so long. Neither of us. I want to be mad at baseball. I want to like boycott and be tough, but I know that won't happen once I feel the warm weather and I go to a Yankees game. I'll be psyched. I'd like to hear. I want to give you some points and some questions about the Yankees, things that kind of scare me. So the Yankees come into the season $256 million payroll. That is the highest payroll the Yankees have ever had. Yet I don't feel like this is nearly as close to being the best Yankees team they've ever had. Like they're not getting the money for the payroll. They still got to add an extension to Judge, so it's going to even grow further. What makes me most disappointed is when I have the pitching staff up right now. Garrett Cole, no spider tack. Luis Severino coming off multiple injuries. Britton's out with an injury. Jameis Tyone coming off an injury. Michael King, disappointing season last year. Jonathan Loizaga, Domingo
what about
Herman,
Gumby?
Jordan Montgomery, Nestor Cortez. Do you feel like they're honestly? I don't even think if you're the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, the Rays, you're not scared of a single pitcher on the Yankees starting rotation,
Oh,
even Garrett.
I don't think as a team, I don't think the Yankees are good at all. I wouldn't be afraid of them. I
Well,
mean,
I'm not. They're going to
this
win
is
a
it's
lot
the
of
same.
games.
It's the
They
same formula as it is last year.
they're
They're
going to
heading
score
into a
tons of
season.
runs. Yeah,
Well, they're heading into a season where they're just going to live off Judge and Stanton's offense to get them into the playoffs, and it's
and
going to.
then lose against a good pitcher.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, how? Yes, you're over the luxury tax threshold, whatever it is. But when you have money, why not use it? Like that's my thing. Like you're
Well,
gonna sign Rizzo. Like the fact that the Yankees there was such a big market this year, and they didn't get anyone. Like that's
yeah,
I get all the logistics to it, but that's
but I don't
embarrassing.
think
I mean,
it's.
you got outbid
But I
by
don't
the
think they were
Mets.
ever.
You got outbid by the Dodgers. Like
Yeah, but I
like
don't
that.
think the Yankees are not like. I think they've already wasted their money in bad contracts that they can't even bid for this stuff. Like
It's
like
like you have, but
like
like
we said,
that's
they're
different.
they're. I think
Garrett
this
Cole
is
had
the
3 years
Cashman
of
problem. Cashman's made some good trades, but you're
he's
telling
not a
me
good
you're
general
spending the
manager.
highest payroll in history. Go look at the other
Your team's
teams'
not even gonna
roster.
win the division. Like your
Yeah,
team
the
will not win
Dodgers are
the
the
division.
Dodgers are playing an insane amount of money, but their lineup is a
Oh
hell of
my
a
god.
lot better.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're gonna win that division by 20 games. I mean, like
Yeah, that's what I'm
it's
saying. I'm saying like I'm not blaming the ownership for not spending another $30 million salary.
so
I'm
embarrassing.
blaming the general manager for just having so many horrific contracts. that they can't go out and spend another $30 million deal.
It's terrible, and it's like it's just passing up. Like, okay, you signed Garrett Cole. He only had like 3 good years on his belt. Like
Well, since Spider Tack,
Freddie Freeman's whole career is fantastic. You know everything you will get from that guy. Matt Olson has been consistent for years. I wasn't a fan of Correa. Trevor Story was consistent for years. You got outbid by the Red Sox now, and I know he's going to kill the Yankees once he's on the Red Sox. That's
there's no
guaranteed
doubt.
to happen. And it's just
it's not the old Yankees. It's a different team. I'm terrified of their pitching. I honestly think Garrett Cole's going to be their one. Jordan Montgomery's going to be their two. Some random of Loizaga or Clark Schmidt or one of those guys, Michael King, will end up having a pretty good season and being a 3. But on the days the 4th and 5th starter go, they're going to have to score 10 runs. And when they play the Red Sox, when they play the Blue Jays, when they play the Rays, they're going to lose those games more often than not. So
you look at this. So the Yankees are in the bottom of the 3rd with 1 out. They're playing the Pirates in a preseason game. Cole started.
Preseason doesn't matter anything.
Yeah, but still, Cole started 2 innings with Higashioka behind the plate. 2 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. 13.5 ERA. 2 innings. But Pirates. Who?
Yeah, but don't. Spring training doesn't mean anything. What scares me more is the MLB saying that they're cracking down on sticky stuff even more because they've been using it. I think. Look, it's bad for baseball. We need some dominant starters. I'm not saying use Spider Tack, which is like steroids, but let them have
chemical created scientific experiments.
But let them use the stuff that they used their whole life, pine tar or something to keep it going.
I'm still very excited to watch baseball again. I do not even think the Yankees are good at all. Like what points to Josh Donaldson staying healthy the whole year and being good at his age?
Yeah, but even if they're not healthy, you got 30 home runs at third base. You have strong defense at shortstop. You'll probably get 20 to 30 home runs.
Torres is not good. I don't think.
But between Torres and LeMahieu, you're going to get over 30 home runs at the second base position, possibly. First base, you probably get 20 home runs and a decent average. Your outfielders, they're going to score a lot of runs. Their pitching stinks.
Joey Gallo is not good.
Well, now
Aaron Hicks is no not
shift, so maybe he'll be better.
Judge and
Aaron Hicks will be hurt the first month of the season. Joey Gallo is just a strikeout.
And you already know Giancarlo Stanton's had a fantastic spring training. I think he's the most valuable and the best.
I just need him to stay healthy.
Well, and it's.
But who's coming out of the bullpen? Like, I don't trust Chapman. I don't. Chad Green. Like, they're gonna pitch every night.
This is the thing where I'm looking at this and this generation and decade and this core of the Yankees, they're not going to win a World Series.
This is a bad
Judge doesn't look like he's going to win a World Series. They're not good, and it's like there was things to fix it,
but they're not good every day.
Look at the list of the players. So right now, I think the Yankees can be better than the Rays, and I think that they'll be better than the Orioles. Obviously, I do not think that they will be better than the Red Sox, and I think the Blue Jays will beat them in the season
pitching
series.
Doesn't scare me. I feel like the whole
Nathan
league.
Eovaldi is better than Cole. I think Nathan Eovaldi is more consistent than Garrett Cole is.
I think I don't think so. But even if it's close, it doesn't matter. Like,
would you rather face Cole, who you have no clue, if he's not with Spider Tack and the fastballs are just leaking right over the middle? Depends
where it is. If it's in Yankee Stadium, then I'm okay with Cole. If I'm in Boston or if I'm in Houston, or on the road, I don't want Cole going.
Well, Eovaldi's been I don't know. The Red Sox.
Eovaldi always seems to perform well against the Yankees, but overall he hasn't been.
Well, if I'm a Red Sox fan this year, I'm expecting a World Series win. Literally, that's not with the Yankees. The Red Sox. You pick up Trevor Story. You won the division last year. The team only got better. They have a good bulb. That's what.
But I feel like, don't you feel like they overplayed last year? Like that they weren't. No, you think that's the team?
I think they had help from players that did unexpected things, but I
Who
don't
do you
know. The
think the
Yankees are doing
odds-on
so.
favorite to win the World Series? I'm going to guess it's the Dodgers. I'm looking
Yeah, but
at
they
it.
won't. Every time you spend so much money, you never win the World Series. I mean, it's like
Yeah,
the Yankees. They
it's the
bought the moment Stanton came into the Yankees locker room. It was like this World Series is locked for the Yankees. There's absolutely no doubt that they win this World Series. Like that's what I thought. They didn't even win the division.
well. This is 3 days old, but according to this, it's the Dodgers are the number one favorite. The Astros are two, which I can't believe that they're still.
Absolutely not. They're going to suck this year.
The
Sorry,
Blue Jays
they
are
will.
next. Um, the White Sox, I always forget that they're pretty good. And then the Mets
But
are
they
tied
blow
with
it.
the Mets and Yankees are tied.
Ooh,
I'm,
Judge just hit a bomb. 407 feet.
the Red Sox are behind that, but still, there's a lot of teams. There's a lot of teams that are not complete teams. I feel like the Dodgers are the most complete team out there. Their lineup
I
is
don't. I don't know. It's just like I think the Yankees can prove me wrong. It's just like you had this. You had so much opportunity. I liked Brian Cashman.
yeah, but I don't
I'm
think they
starting to
had
not
the
like
opportunity.
him or
I
Boone.
disagree that the opportunity was ever there. People keep saying they should have signed all these guys. They highest payroll ever. You haven't with still Judge to sign. You're
It's
gonna when you
it's
sign
just
Judge
it's
to
just
$20 million a year, it's
It's
gonna
just
be
money.
yeah, it's not your money. That's the thing.
Yeah,
It's
but they
just
have
money.
it though. But like that's the
Yeah,
thing.
but
They have
that's
it.
yeah.
Steinbrenner has like I mean can't
Well, they're
even.
not, but that's not who they are anymore. That's who the Mets are. They got an owner who doesn't
But
care.
that's in the same. They're like, what are they billionaires? Like you can't
Yeah. The
afford to like
Yankees
cover
are
like
the Yankees are worth $5 billion. I heard that on the
that's what I'm
radio
saying.
this
Like
week.
I hate seeing
If
that
you
like
don't want to, if you want to play to win, sell them to Jeff Bezos for $5-6 billion. Take your money and let someone who will go in there. The Yankees need to be about winning, and for them to
they're
just be
not
like,
well, like it's you didn't even have to sign them. Matt Olson was the absolute right pick for first.
well,
Had
and you
the
see the
assets
contract
to,
that he got a
but
great
you had
contract.
the assets to trade him. You trade Luke Voigt for a bag of chips. You
Well, I
still
don't
have
think there was
Torres.
any market for Luke Voigt, to be honest
Anthony
with you.
Rizzo is
The,
whatever. I mean, his
let me
prime
ask you
ended after
this.
they won the World
We'll
Series. Like
finish there. If the Yankees go to the A's, they make the trade for, I'm going to pronounce it wrong. Is it Manaea, the pitcher that everyone wants?
Sean Mania.
Manaea, sorry. If the Yankees go and make that trade and then sign Judge to extension, are fans going to stop harping about the salary? I mean, you can't sign everybody.
Well, you need to do something. Like what have they done? They signed Marwin Gonzalez, and you
Yeah,
made a trade for Josh Donaldson and
but
Isaiah
what
Kiner
like
Falefa.
it's
That's
kind
the
of like the
moves.
the Giants, you look at when you make so many mistakes, you're restricted on what you could do. If you were the Rays with the Yankees
Oh,
power, that you'd be mocking them,
I
being
mean
like you could spend
The Texas Rangers outbid.
the
They had
Minnesota
Corey
Twins.
Seager
The
or
Minnesota
Marcus
Twins broke the
Simeon.
Yankees. The Minnesota Twins sent the Yankees old
Ugh.
Donaldson and turned around and signed Correa on a deal that's probably going to be a 1 year deal. Like I agree. It's
Dude,
the
the
most
Twins are going to be. I
disappointing.
mean, I actually think they're. I don't think the Blue Jays are actually going to be that good this year. Actually, I take that back. They're not going to be good this year.
I think it's all about pitching.
People are forgetting though. They lost their best pitcher, Robbie Ray, who won the Cy Young, gone,
Yeah.
and they lost Marcus Simeon, who's literally what 40 something home runs. I mean, he
Who did
carried
they
them,
bring in?
killed the Yankees. Like, but whatever they brought in wasn't what they lost. So, and I mean, Yankees were getting ready for this is going to be the same old deal we saw last year before. Brett Gardner is going to come back. We know it's happening. It's
There
in.
is an article in the Post today saying he's not. That's
No,
funny
he
that you
will.
say that.
He will.
Eh,
He will.
They
He
said
will.
they asked Cashman about it, and he said we're fine where we are until 1 week from now when someone pulls a hamstring, and here he comes. I got no problems with Brett
Mhm.
Gardner. Let's wrapping up there. Any
Okay, but
final points, Matty?
honestly think though he would be decent. I don't know. Should be happy about the Rangers. That's my points.
That's
I
the point
mean,
of
what?
this. Let's take away a Ranger win. What'd you say? 5 o'clock tonight? The game in Buffalo or in
Yeah,
New York again?
they actually, I think are through the. It's in at Madison Square Garden. They're actually through, I think, the the hardest part of their schedule. They got some good. They're gonna have a good April. It's gonna be a good. I mean,
Let's
because
hope. Just
you have
stay healthy.
you have Buffalo at home, and then the Penguins on the road and Red Wings on the road to end this month. That should be 3 wins. I mean, ideally, you need 2 out of the 3, and then
They're
your schedule
chasing the
gets
Penguins.
easy. They get pretty decent schedule, but they just gotta stay consistency. You don't need to. You want
If
to
they
play
play
like
hard
you.
every night, they're going to win enough games and they're going to finish in the top 4 and they'll be okay.
I mean, look.
But it is scary how quickly like a bad week could crush you in the
Well,
standings. Right?
that's what I
Someone,
love
it's going to
with.
happen to someone.
I love with like we talked about all year. The Rangers, that was the first game this year they've played against Pittsburgh. Shesterkin didn't have to do anything. Like they
Yep.
literally were like
They were.
dominant
It
offense,
was.
defense,
They
like,
were. Yeah. They were out of the gates. It was over. Like they took a
and
stranglehold.
the
It was
tip he
great.
couldn't stop. But like whatever, like okay. Well, I will say this. I know you don't care about this. The amount of 1 goal games he's been in. I mean, he should have 10 shutouts. Like it bothers me so much these stupid 1 goals
I
that go in against
don't
him.
worry about stats.
I want him to beat Lundqvist's shutout record. I think I'll ask you this: 10 years from now, do you think? Do you, like probably like prediction?
Will he
Completely
be
hypothetical.
known better as Lundqvist?
Do you
I,
think he'll have better career stats than like Lundqvist?
10 years from now, no.
You don't think so?
I
I
think
think
he may have a Stanley Cup, which Lundqvist never got, but for some reason, I just foresee an injury derailing half of his career.
no. Oh,
Well, you're asking me to guess the future.
that's sad. That's sad.
That is
That
sad. It
is so
stinks.
sad.
Well, let's end
Well,
there
I
on that negative note. Matty, I'll
on
see you.
that negative note, yeah.
I'll see you soon. We'll get back at it. Yeah, baseball's back. Rangers need to win tonight. Let's go St. Peter's for no other reason than Jersey, and we want to beat North Carolina.
Well, I was kind of thinking I should go for St. Peter's because I don't want to put myself in that scenario where I only can cheer for Duke if it's Kansas, Villanova, Duke,
You don't want to
UNC.
root for Duke. Come on.
Well, Coach K, I mean he.
Coach Cage, coach. He never did anything for me. He's got enough wins. Let somebody else win. Let
Yep.
Jersey win. Pork roll to the
Yep.
title. All right, Matty. Love you. I'll talk to you soon.
See you guys next week.
Bye.